want a guy who could space, and John Wall isn't that player.
Not the best spacer, yeah. Not the worst, but not the best.
I mean, and obviously that same argument can be made for Milwaukee, but if I'm trading for Milwaukee, am I losing Middleton?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I guess you could do a trade involving Bledsoe, Brogdon maybe. Bledsoe, Brogdon,
Picks.
DiVincenzo. Well, again, now they don't have their 2019 pick, so they would have to wait till 2021. So I think picks won't be as that pick won't be as valuable.
I mean, it's hard for me to see that trade happening.
Yeah. I mean, you do have DiVincenzo there. You have Bledsoe, and it depends on how much Washington wants to get rid of John Wall. But this would have to, for Bledsoe, would have to be mid-season. For Brogdon, it would have to be mid-season because they're both free agents.
But if I'm the Wizards, I want more than that, right? I want what's his face? I want Middleton at least.
Yeah, but Milwaukee won't trade Middleton.
Yeah, so I don't really see that trade happening. I mean, I don't see Bledsoe.
It depends on who. DiVincenzo.
I guess it depends on how bad.
My boy Thon Macher. He does. Yeah, Macher hasn't shown much.
And he's probably not playing much because Brook Lopez is taking his minutes now.
Which he should, rightfully so.
And for very fair reasons, he should. Obvious reasons, I mean. But I just don't see a deal like that happening. And again, if you're...
Brogdon's a solid player, though. So what if it's like Bledsoe, Brogdon, and DiVincenzo?
I mean, look, I'm not a John Wall fan. So getting rid of that contract, if I'm the Wizards, I think is a smart move. Do I think the Wizards believe that? No. I mean, I think the Wizards, paid him $40 million because they believe he's going to be that $40 million a year guy.
And maybe. And this is what I mean, it just really depends on if Washington would really have to decide mid-season, depending, let's say they're at 500, because that's where I kind of see them at. Maybe a game or two, couple games, 3-4 games over 500 by the time the trade deadline rolls around. So I'm really wondering, would they be like here? Hey, let's try to get rid of this guy before that contract becomes really bad. And I think Milwaukee is the type of team who sees that we need to get something around Antetokounmpo. Obviously, they know they have to keep Middleton if they want to keep Antetokounmpo. So that's out of the question. He's out of the question, and not keeping him is out of the question. I think they're going to do whatever it takes to keep him and literally pay him damn near close to the max if they have to. And unless he really feels like, I really don't want to be here anymore, then that's the only way he's not in Milwaukee by next year. I think they have to do whatever it takes because of the Antetokounmpo situation. But getting another player, another star like John Wall is another move that they really have to strongly consider, even if he is on a bad contract.
Yeah, I understand that. I think this would really come down to at the end, what do the Washington Wizards management feel like is John Wall's worth? And I think they would feel it's more than just Bledsoe, DiVincenzo, who hasn't proved anything yet, and Malcolm Brogdon, who we know absolutely well where his ceiling is, and where what kind of NBA player he's going to be.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately here it's 3 guards. I'm trying to think of who else Milwaukee might be about. I mean, they have a former, like I said, Macher's a former first-round pick, I believe, DJ Wilson, but both of them, they just haven't proven anything. They haven't played. And I mean, there's really not much else there. The 2021 first-round pick, that's really it. The right to swap picks in 2020 won't work because Milwaukee will probably be better than Washington this year and next. I don't think Washington will go for that. I mean, 2021 first-round pick. And where else, I mean, real quick, where else do you think would be a good spot for John Wall to be traded to if Washington decides that?
I mean, it was hard for me to think of, because once again, I'm not a huge John Wall fan.
Detroit?
Well, I mean, I had Bradley Beal going to Detroit.
Ooh, for who?
For Blake.
For Blake?
I wanted to team John Wall and Blake up together.
I don't dislike that, but I don't see Washington parting ways in any way. Even if they decide to rebuild, I think they will decide to rebuild around Beal.
The only way I would see that happening if the management thought that John Wall is their guy, and they want to invest in John Wall, which I think would be crazy. But there's crazy NBA teams.
There are. I mean,
crazy management. If I saw them saying, "Oh, let's really invest in John Wall," I could see them, especially if Blake Griffin continues to have pretty damn good games like he did today.
Yeah, the game. I don't know.
And I think that John Wall, Blake Griffin would be a very interesting pairing, just because I do think they would kind of work out pretty well.
It would. I mean, again, I think Griffin had a good game last game too. I can't remember the numbers he put up. But yeah, solid game last game, and he's putting up some very solid numbers. And
I think Detroit would be smart to trade for Bradley Beal because of his age and because of his.
Oh, of course. I mean, for Detroit, I love that trade.
There were two terrible contracts on the Wizards, with two guys who are going to get a ton of money in their early 30s. But
how about the Spurs? I'm serious. How about the Spurs?
But who does the Spurs have to offer?
I mean, yeah, good point. I guess I could say DeJounte Murray, who I don't think. Yes, he's got an injury, but if Washington decides let's go young, Murray. I mean, obviously
the problem with Murray is still that his jump shot has never shown. I like DeJounte Murray.
Nobody's considering him for his offense, but I think the teams for his defensive. I mean, Thielen Keena's got a spot in the league because of his defense.
Sure, but I think the fact that he doesn't have to be guarded on offense, at least for now, does hurt him a lot.
It does.
And he doesn't have the playmaking and finishing ability as Ben Simmons.
Spurs have an advantage over the other teams we named for one reason. They have 2 first-round picks in 2019.
Sure. I mean, but I don't think there's any offer that Spurs can, throw out there without including Aldridge or DeRozan, and I don't know why the Wizards would want to trade for Aldridge, especially Aldridge. I mean, he's just age-wise. I mean, I think LaMarcus Aldridge has been awesome.
If the Spurs are trading for Wall, they're not trading Aldridge or DeRozan.
So I don't see you're going to take Pau Gasol and Patty Mills.
Well, Pau Gasol is an expiring contract. That's the only reason he would be in this trade.
Sure,
not Patty Mills. Nobody's taking on Patty Mills.
Then.
I mean, you're right, and I'm just throwing teams out here.
John Wall's contract is much larger.
You got Burton's there, you got Poto, Lonnie Walker, the 2 first-round picks.
But none of those guys are proven players.
None of those guys are proven players, yeah. None of those guys are proven players. You're right about that.
John Wall's contract this year is still at 19, so it wouldn't be very difficult to get rid of. But
this year, no. Yeah, you're right. And I mean, and this is maybe where I think Milwaukee might be a good fit because of the fact that if you're Washington, you're getting a proven player plus a couple of younger players. Now, the fact that the only players they have to trade there are DiVincenzo and Brogdon, both guards, when you have Beal, Oubre there, that's the thing that maybe would hold this deal back. Depending on how much they like Thon Maker.
You have Rivers, you have Satoransky, and then you have Destroy Brown kid, who you just drafted supposedly a good player.
He was. I mean, he was pretty. They were high on him coming in. So
okay, I think we'll stop the podcast there, and then we will continue with doing some talks with Anthony Davis, maybe some of the Warriors players. Maybe we'll bring up the Giannis name and really make the next.
I think that'll be more 2020, but I think his name will be mentioned somewhere here. Yes.
So So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stop right there. We're gonna come back next week, and we're gonna continue our discussion with superstars that are being traded. As always, please. Let your friends know about our podcast. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever else you get your podcasts. And follow our Instagram and NBA Trade Zone.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think. Where would be a good fit for some of these players? John Wall, CJ McCollum, Kevin Love. Where would be a good fit and what would be good packages? And take both teams into consideration, just like we're trying to do here. We're either taking one, both, but we always want to see views from both ends. So thank you guys for listening.
Thanks.
All right. Enjoy.